Hello, people. Welcome back to AFTV. You've joined us for some breaking news, some good breaking news. This is not injury talk. This is not this person's injured, this person's gone. This is some more positive news. I'm joined by Robbie Lyle, of course. For this news, you can see in the banner right below me, Saka signs a 5-year contract with Arsenal, obviously a 5-year extension. I can read you the tweet quickly as we begin from Fabrizio Romano. It says, Bukayo Saka has signed a new long-term deal at Arsenal after the verbal agreement reached months ago. New 5-year deal sealed and set to be officially confirmed soon, which was by Sammy Mokbel from the BBC who reported it. It says, key for Arsenal future plans, always seen as untouchable. So a player that was always committed to Arsenal. And I want to get Robbie's thoughts and feelings. First, we'll get on the news around him signing and staying for the next 5 years. Of course, 5 years may not be the full 5 years. Someone comes sniffing around. But there was also a bit of a controversy when it comes to some fans saying his numbers aren't great. And look at him compared to this. And this Casemiro has more goals than him. I had from my friend Mesh me this morning. Saka shouldn't stay. Is he really the same Saka of before? All this stuff. We'll discuss that with Robbie. But first, your initial thoughts, Robbie, on Bukayo Saka staying with Arsenal for another 5 years.
For all those people who are saying that, if the news today was Saka's leaving, there'd be a meltdown. You know what I mean? So I'd ignore all those fools, right? It's a massive coup for the club. You know, Bukayo Saka, as we know, one of the best players in Europe. That's facts. He's one of the best young players in Europe. He may not be having a stellar season. It's been very injury hit, as we know. He had those injuries from last season. He's had more injuries this season. But you'll see in the summer that he'll be one of England's top players. He's one of Arsenal's leading lights. And if you're going to be a team that's challenging for titles, challenging for Champions League, challenging, and you're serious, you've got to keep your best players. So I think this is major for Arsenal. Obviously, it was a few months back when we heard the news that he was going to be signing a deal. I do know that there was a lot of negotiation going on around it. You know,
what do you think? What do you think that was around? What do you think that was around, Robbie? Because he's on a lot of money. Do you think he was asking?
Well, it was around money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because if you're a player like Bukayo Saka, you need to be paid very, very well. You know what I mean? These players, they have agents. And the agents will be turning around to them and saying, well, listen, this player at this club is getting this, that player at that club's getting that. You're a crown jewel here at Arsenal. They need to reward you in the right and proper way. So, you know what I mean? That is the issue you have when you have a player like this. You can't turn around to a Bukayo Saka and say, you know, we're going to give you 150 grand a week. You know what I mean? When he knows that he could go to any other club across Europe and he will get double, even treble that. So that's what you have to do to keep these type of players. In the past, we've not been able to do that. We've seen all of our best players walk through the door as soon as they, you know, start playing well and start getting to those heights. Off they go, your Van Persies and people like that in the past. So I think what this shows is the ambition of the club to keep a player like Bukayo Saka, and shows how far we've come over the last few years, and that we're not seeing our best players just walk through the door. And the Arsenal now are in a position that if they let a player go, it's because they want to let him go, not because they can't afford to keep him. So I think this is a good day for Arsenal. And if he can now step it up, because, you know, like you said, he's not been as good as he's been over the past few seasons. I think a lot of that's been down to injury. He's a type of player can help us to win this league.
100%, 4 goals and 3 assists. Obviously, but he's been out this season in the league so far. But obviously, he's been out, like you said, he's been injured for quite a bit. So I know a lot of people are going on his output, but he's been holding this club up for many a year, and rightly deserves it. He's 100%. He's a star. He's a franchise player for us. Well, that's what it is. And obviously, of course, he's probably now, I believe, the highest. I think he's been put on the highest amount at Arsenal, I believe, from what I'm hearing from before, from the discussions that were previously had on his contract. So he's signed now to 2031, so a 5-year deal. Quickly though, is also a boost in a sense that someone asked me this question: if we don't win silverware this season, listen, we're in all 4 competitions, fighting on all 4 fronts, then some of the top players will be looking elsewhere. I think the timing of the signing of the contract is actually quite good, even though I expect us to win silverware this season. But do you fear that if we don't win something of significance this season, that some of the big players, the Salibas, the Gabriels, the Martin Odegaards, even the Sakas, might be starting to turn theirs and say, listen, I've got a career to think about?
Well, they can't, innit? Because they're all the good thing. And Andrea Berta's done, he's tied them all down to long contracts. You know what I mean? Saliba's on a long contract. So is Gabriel now. So is Saka. This is the sort of silent work that Berta has done, which has been brilliant. You know what I mean? Because we all look at signings and bring this player in and bring that player in. But also, what's always very, very important is to make sure you keep your best players. And as I said, it's a thing that over the years, over the last 10, 15 years, Arsenal have not done. They've not kept their best players. You know what I mean? A player will be doing really, really well. Next minute, you know, off he goes. You know what I mean? Another club will come along, offer him a better deal, offer him the chance to win things, and they're gone. Now, staying at Arsenal, you can make the money and you have a chance to win things. So I think what's been done here has been absolutely brilliant and absolutely essential to keep older players like Bukayo Saka, like you said, franchise player, and also a heartbeat of the club. He's come up through the academy. You know, this guy needs Arsenal. This is what we need secured at the club. So it's great.
I think it's always good to have foundation. Obviously, he's a Hairlem boy. I think you make it. Yeah, he's a good point. He's the like I said, he's a franchise player.
And sorry, just going on that, Cecil. If you don't tie down these type of players and secure them down to a long-term contract, even though he's come up through the ranks, even though he bleeds Arsenal, he can leave. You know what I mean? Like just what we saw with Trent Alexander-Arnold, what's happened at Liverpool. They didn't sort out his contract. They didn't tie him down. Started to look and see, I've only got a year left. Real Madrid, all these sort of teams came along. Off he went. So this is why today's an important day in getting Bukayo Saka sorted.
Massive. And well done to the club for getting done. Well done, Andrea Berta. Actually, you're right to mention he's actually came in and he's done really. People just think about the incomings, but to be fair, re-signing some of the key players is a massive job as well. So big him up. I want to one thing I'd love to see the stipulations, because Bukayo Saka, some people may not know, he's actually the second in line for the captaincy. I know we've seen Gabriel Magalhaes have it a lot, but he is second in line. Obviously, Odegaard's our current captain. I wonder if there is some sort of stipulation in there to say that he might be looking at that captain's armband maybe for next. I don't know. Listen, I'm speculating. It'll be interesting to see.
Get the feeling his agent will be more focused on the money.
Smart man. All right, let me close off. Just remind you guys what the news was. Saka's obviously signed a 5-year extension on his contract at Arsenal too, so he's signed now till 2031. Before we close off, I do want to mention Arteta's press conference today. Earlier on today, he spoke about some of the injuries. I know I topped this video by saying this is not injury news, but we will give you an update because I think it's only right to. He mentioned that Calafiori and White are fine, which is very good news. I thought Ben White was actually out. I thought he'd come up with an injury, but he's actually back.
That's good news, because the Calafiori one, remember, he didn't, it was in the warm-up, wasn't it? And I was saying on the day that I feel that it's one of those where it's just like, if you feel any little thing at all, there's no point in risking you. You know what I mean? We're no disrespect, but we're paying Wigan. We've got more than enough there. Just take a rest. So that was a very wise thing to do. It's something that we couldn't do last season. He would have played. So that's good. That's good news.
Very good news. Quickly, sorry, Rob, we're here, innit? Would you start him then tomorrow, or is it
I think I'd start Nketiah though, because I think Nketiah has been playing so well in that position that I think I'd start him. I remember he had a good game against Brentford. He had that assist. I'd start Nketiah. But listen, you got the option, and of course, remember we've got 2 games coming up in a short period of time. We've got North London derby at the weekend. Maybe we put Calafiori in for that one.
Yeah, hopefully we see some minutes from Calafiori then come tomorrow, because then that'll gear him up for the North London derby. And then he also went on to say, Mikel Arteta, about Odegaard is out for Wolves, so it's likely we'll see Eze keep his place in that 10 role. And he's saying he's hoping that Kai will be back in time for Spurs as well. So
saw that, yeah. I mean, if Havertz is back for Spurs, that'd be great as well. You know what I mean? This is really important now that we're seeing these players come back. Havertz, who's come back and has done really, really well, could be a really important player against Tottenham. You know what I mean? Maybe off the bench. So it'd be great to have him back in the squad. That's another option, especially we're coming up against Spurs. You know, at the moment they've got a lot of injuries. So the more options we can have in case the better. So
100%.
Good news. Really good news.
So that was the update from Mikel Arteta, and that is it for this breaking news. Please make sure you all go check out all the build-up to the Wolves game. We've got all the content for you. We've got previews. We've got predicted 11s. There's a big debate between who starts, the Norgard or Zubimendi in that midfield. Make sure you check that all out as well. And actually, can I just advise you all that are listening and watching as well? Positive Dan did a fan cam for the last game, and he actually spoke about Bukayo Saka and how we should get behind him. And now he's under a 5-year extension. I think it bodes well with this video as well. So listen, go hit that, like this video. It's good news for the Arsenal fans. Saka is staying. He's not going anywhere. Rob, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you tomorrow for the game. Let's hope Arsenal get 3 points and we continue this run. be in the top of the league. Yeah, take care.
Hello and welcome to Predicted 11. I'm back to reality.
Yuri Timber, who's been the best right back in Europe, has to play.
For the 5th time that we are Christmas #1.
Have we ever won it from there?
God have mercy upon us.
Do you change anything in the back?
I don't change.
This is the squad that's got us to where we are. So there's no point now trying to change it.
I'm going off the box on this one, right? I'm going for Eze. If he goes with that team there, that is his options off the bench.
We could have only dreamt of this last season.